All right, guys. Man, welcome, welcome. We're here on another episode, and my name is Oscar Gonzalez. I am the founder, CEO of ScaleMySocial.io, and with us today, I have D'Artagnan Shakespeare in the house, man, from Kixie. Goes by Dart, but man, what a name! That's where we got to start this thing off, man. Like, tell me a little, introduce yourself. Like, what a name, man. How did your parents, like, what's the story behind that?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Oscar. So, yeah, D'Artagnan Shakespeare, it's definitely a little bit of a mouthful, which is why people just call me Dart. I can't tell you the amount of times, high school teachers butchered trying to say my name. But it stems just from the Three Musketeers. My dad was a big fan of French literature and
Okay.
Dumas. And he was actually the fourth musketeer in the book, so ends up being the hero and saving everybody. So, yeah,
Get out of here.
just trying to, internalize that energy in my sales career right now.
Oh, I love it, man. Fantastic. Well, dude, welcome. I appreciate you taking some time. I know you're super busy. You have a ton of clients and people. So I appreciate you taking a few minutes to just look. I wanted to have you on here because you and I and my company, your company, we're doing a lot of work together. And I think the technology that you guys are providing is so relevant in today's world for insurance agents and insurance agencies, right? Like the larger groups. And so, I know that there's a huge benefit. So I wanted to have you on here, and I think this is a big topic, right? Dialers, as a new agent or even agencies that are out there trying to scale, it's always like, all right, well, what do we use to call the leads that are coming in or that we're generating? And there's a lot of options out there, and for me as an agent, agency owner, and also as a marketing company now working with agencies, I've tested a lot of the stuff that's out there, right? A lot of the competition that offers, power dialers, the technology that you guys, the space that you're in, and for me, man, it's been since I found you guys, because I found you when I was dialing myself and some of my agents, and I know you reached out to me through a social media post that I made, and you just reached out and we kind of connected, right? But I had been, once I started using you guys, it was like, man, this is a great technology, and now that we're doing a lot of marketing stuff, we really present, what we're doing, and with you guys as a partnership to every client, right? Like how important it is to have a good dialing system along with a good CRM, along with good campaigns, good lead sources, and all these things. So I think you guys are play a huge, huge part in how an agent or agency can have a successful business. So let's get right into it, man. Like, why don't you give us a little bit of information, a little background on yourself, and then just get into like what Kixie does and what you guys are doing now. That's super cool.
Totally, man, totally. So I guess just to start off, what Kixie is in a nutshell is just a calling and texting platform, like you elucidated to, with some really cool features to boost connectivity. Now, that might sound somewhat surface level at first, but when you kind of dive down to the nitty gritty, we do a lot of things different, and a lot of things more robust than our competitors. First and
Hmm.
foremost, I would like to highlight is just our connection rate. Right now, spam
Hmm.
rate, especially in the insurance industry, as you know firsthand, is at an all-time high. I believe the average is about 30 to 40% spam. So that
Hmm.
means out of 100 calls you're making, 30 of them are popping up as spam. It's tough. It's
Right.
really brutal, especially when you're trying to get sales. What we've done at Kicksteve, we're actually to combat that, and we're clocking in just around 8%, 8.5 spam rate. We do that via our connection boost or local presence feature. And it's different than the way other companies utilize that tool because we actually manually track each number in that pool. And anytime AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile flags it as spam, we delete that number by the end of the week and replace it with a fresh number from the area code just to ensure that it's going to be coming up as clean as possible. A lot of companies promise this, but they don't actually deliver. And so
Hmm.
that's one thing I'm very proud to say that we do deliver because we do care about our clients, just like you. And it's awesome just to see people's reactions when you get a call after they're on trial period and like, I haven't had this many connections in my whole life. And it just feels really, really good.
Man, it's such an important piece, right? This local presence that you guys provide. and actually, like you said, delivering on it and staying on top of it. Because in like I know just from coming from a background where I understand telephony and the business and the amount of work that goes into scrubbing those lists and making sure that you don't come up as spam. Like I know the amount of work that takes, and you guys have built that technology that just is doing that, right? And it takes a lot of work. It does it instantly, like it's something simple, but it's not. And it's a huge, huge difference for sure. I mean, and I manage clients, and I have clients that don't use you guys, right? That have different platforms and that use different solutions, or maybe don't use any solutions. They're just dialing out of a CRM, and you can clearly see the difference in contact, in production, I think all across the board. Now, especially in a time where all these TCPA things are going on, all these law changes, and more than ever, we're getting hit with spam every single day, right? Like and I
Yeah,
get I get
yeah.
dozens and dozens of these calls every day, and it's like, man, I can't imagine somebody picking up the phone, right? Because that's what happens. Now, when you think about it as an insurance agent, you're like, all right, now I got a lead, whether you buy it or generate it. Now I have to call on it. Well, I need to be able to have the best system to know that one, that person that sees my call coming in is going to pick up or have the best chance to pick up. And if I'm coming up as spam, you're so dead in the water, you have zero chance, right? It's already
0
hard
chance.
enough to get someone to pick up, you know what I'm saying? And so that local presence that you guys provide where and explain that a little bit more, like that technology, right? So every time a dial goes out, what happens? What is the person that gets that call, what are they seeing on their caller ID?
Yeah, so it's local presence is gonna do 3 things for you, right? 1, it's gonna lower your spam rate dramatically. 2, it's gonna dynamically rotate that number from the same area
Hmm.
code. So, Oscar, I could call you 10 times in a row, and each time I'm gonna pop up as that same area code, but under a different number, just to help increase the chances that you're picking up on that first engagement.
So
Because
powerful.
Because think of it, like, if you're getting let's say you get a call from your area code and you're busy right now and you turn it off. If someone calls you back 3 times in a row from that same area code number, you're gonna realize, like, "Okay, this is
Right.
probably a sales call." So why
Right.
by rotating that number, it's alleviating that thought of, like, "Oh, this is someone really trying to get in contact with me." And then 3, you're gonna be
Absolutely.
popping up like that local business even though you might be miles or states away. And the big thing about this technology too is 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a big thing about sales was just hard work, people picking up
Hmm.
the phones and dialing.
Right. Right.
Nowadays, it doesn't matter if you're dialing 200, 300 more dials than the next person if you don't have the
Hmm.
technology. Because the
You got it.
last thing you want is a worse salesperson getting deals because they're using better tech than you.
Man, that's you. I think you hit that right on the head, right? I think that times are changing quickly, and I think
Yeah.
the insurance business as a whole, I think, is behind on technology, right? And so, a company like Kixie coming in, companies like Go High Level, these companies that are out there really providing technology and resources, they're changing the way the business is done. And I think if you're not adapting, I compare it a lot, man. Like I come from ecom, right? That's where I really started in where I built something big. And I saw the transition from, and I went into ecom before Amazon existed, right? Before they were like a presence online. And I saw that shift of the technology that Amazon brought into ecom, and the companies that never like shifted and adjusted to it and started using technology, they became dinosaurs and they went out of business, right? And, now fast forward, now Amazon is the biggest player, but there's a ton of other ones out there too. The point is, the ones that adapted and went into it and leaned into the technology, right? Because I think that's a challenge for especially like seasoned older agents or agency owners that have been doing something this way for so long. Like making the change and adapting is really, really tough, right? So tell us a little bit about how easy it can be for an agent or an agency to want to use the technology. Like what's the setup to use Kixie and that whole part of it.
Totally, man. And I agree with you completely. I mean, in all aspects of life, people are scared to change or scared to adapt, and it's tough.
Right.
I think
Right.
the biggest step is just getting there, is booking that first meeting, taking the time to learn about something, and then once you're there, it snowballs. We've made it on Kixie's end of things to make it as easy as possible to set up. So what it looks like is once you're on Kixie, you can integrate with the click of a button with your Go High Level or with whatever CRM you're using,
Hmm.
which eliminates that room for error. From anything you do in that dialer, it's going to pop up right under that contact. And on top of that, too, we will handle all of the 10 DLC and A2P registration for you. So you don't have to worry
Hmm.
about transferring numbers over, porting them over yourselves, all of that. We handle that on the back end, as well as build out any automations you might need too. So we really have an amazing dev team and product team on our side of things where we do all the heavy lifting just to put you guys or put any agency in the best position just to do what they do best, and that's call and sell. We don't want them to spend time learning a whole new system, just banging their head against a wall because of the complications. So because of that, we have a great team here just to make the transition as smooth as possible.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think, I came to Kixie. One of the biggest things that attracted me to Kixie was the integrations and the
Hmm.
simplicity of setup that I wasn't finding with other companies and other competitors. And that's where I went into it. And then as I started using it and agents that work underneath me started using it, it was like, man, this is easy, right? This is like we're setting
Yeah.
up. I'm online in a few days. The A2P thing is so big just because like we have clients that are going through Go High Level or other companies, Ringy, all these other companies that are out there. They don't handle it for you, right? Like you have to go through, you have to submit the campaigns, you have to submit the brand. And a lot of times, like it's not that complicated, but for some reason, it has a huge fail rate when people do it, right? And so it's a thorn on people's side when they go in and they're like, oh man, I got to do my own A2P registration thing. And so you guys doing that and taking that on is a huge weight lifted off. And so it makes it super simple. And one of the things again that attracted us and why I think you and I now have this working relationship is because, obviously when we talk to a client, and we're presenting the services that we do of lead generation, especially like agencies, agency owners where we're going in and saying, okay, we're going to help you generate leads, manage campaigns on social, build your brand. And look, on the other side of that, when these leads come in, we're also helping those agency owners like customize the CRM. And now more than ever, like you're part of my conversation when I have that, right? Because it's like, okay, well now, what are we going to do once the leads come in? Who's calling them? How are we calling them? How do we know that we're getting the most out of every lead that's coming out? And in call sequences and just being efficient. And so you guys have become part of every conversation that I have now with an agent or agency owner, knowing like, hey, here are the pieces that you need. You need leads, you need a CRM, you need a dialer. Outside of that, you just got to get on and work, and this is going to be successful for you, right? So that
100%.
partnership, and let's talk a little bit about that, man. Like so,
Hmm.
again, you and I, got connected, and I started using it, and then very soon after I started, like sending clients and referring people to you, um, because of the work that you guys were doing. And now, look, my company is a preferred partner for you guys, and we have several large agencies that are working in the system, and talk a little bit about that, just like how's been the relationship and some of the business that we brought to you, and then how that's going.
Man, I swear hopefully my other partners aren't listening, but you're one of my favorite people I work with right now, Oscar, because not only because you're an awesome guy, but because you genuinely care about your clients. And um, I have the same mentality. And it's
Yeah,
awesome when you can work with somebody and see actual case studies and statistics from the things that you're promising. Because a lot of lead gen companies, a lot of dialers will promise all of this, but they don't have any statistics or case studies to back. So I think the
right,
best thing about this is just when we're working together on an agency, helping them onboard them, we can really see the difference before and after. And
right.
that just speaks for itself. So because of that has just been amazing. Um, on top of getting to know you, getting to know your business, and just you help mentoring me as an individual. So I can't speak enough and highly about that. And I'm super excited to keep on working with you and keep on growing this and just helping agencies grow and get as many connections as they can. So yeah, that's the
It's
whole name of
awesome,
the game
man.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, and we met. I know I've met a couple people that are part of the dev team, and it's really cool because I know you guys are a younger company, you know, and but it's awesome to see that you're a tech company, right? Like that's how I look at
Hmm.
Kixie. It's like, man, these guys have developers, like they're every day writing, doing code, doing all kinds of things to really develop and grow and make this a better product, a better technology product. And that's one of the reasons where I knew when I started using it, and then when I partnered up with you guys, it was like, man, this is a home run, right? Like this is something that everybody's going to need, and how do we get it out there? How do we get more folks on it? And you know, for me, in the last probably 6 months, maybe even a little bit longer, as we've shifted our focus to really helping more like larger agencies and call centers, just larger operations, it's been really incredible to do the customization work that we're providing through developers for go high level, right? Like building offsite servers and lead distribution, and then tying that in to Kixie, you know, and some of the stuff that you know that you guys have been helping build for those larger teams, right? Like the lead distribution, call sequences, how people get called, how does a team of agents better, you know, how do they become more efficient using Kixie? And so that's been a huge, huge thing that has helped, right? And we have mutual clients like David Duford, right, that we
Hmm.
both work with, and that you have helped in building those things, and so many others, right? So many other large agencies that are out there that we're working with. And so give us a little insight on that. Like I know, you know, for us, again, our main focus has been like, all right, lead distribution within Go High Level and doing things that I think a lot of people didn't know were even possible to do within Go High Level that allow us to really control leads as they come in, right? So as an example, if I have 10 agents and they're all in different states, I want to make sure that I can run one campaign, one audience on Facebook, but still distribute those leads to the agents properly based on their state. So these are things that we're building within Go High Level using servers and using all those kinds of things. For you guys, I know you've helped a lot with like building specific types of lists and where
Hmm.
a lead goes into and then drips into another list and those call sequences. Talk a little bit about that behind the scenes, like tech and like real work that's done. Man, that's so critical. And again, getting the most out of that like lead, right? Squeezing the most out of the line is so important. So shed a little light for us, and a lot of us are not technical, but any info you can give on like those drips and those call sequences that you guys use.
Totally. So, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about efficiency, right? And so, when you do get those leads coming in, what we do is we automatically, based on the sales parameters or the settings of your team, drip them in to a specific list, either for all of your agents or specific agents.
Hmm.
So each day they can have the fresh new leads in ready to dial. And on top of that, we do have that tech called a power dialer, which allows them to dial up to the 10 lines in conjunction with each other. So this way they're connecting with the warmest leads at the fastest possible rate because everyone knows that time kills deals. As if someone fills out a form or drops into that list, you want to reach out to them ASAP in any way possible. So based on how the floor works, we can either trigger emails, texts, or calls to go out from our system. And that's something that some of our clients have been working with have capitalized on immensely. Um, I know that some of the agencies are using that four-line dialer. So each day when they get an extra 50 or 100
Hmm.
leads in, they're dialing those 100 leads in within the first hour, which normally would take
Right.
people a whole day to do. And they're doing that in a
Correct.
very efficient rate and getting touch points on every single one. So if they don't get in contact with all 100, they're getting in contact with at least 20 to 30. And the other 70, they have a touch point on where they left a voicemail, message, text, or email just to kind of help warm it up for the next engagement. So I think
Right.
that is what you were saying, and I hope that answers some of the technical questions on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know, the ability obviously because everything is like speed to lead, right? I get a lead. Who's going to be the first person that's going to get to that lead? Because if that person filled out one lead They probably filled out two or three more or even more. And if they searched it online, they're going to be served all kinds of ads, right, from competitors. And so once
Totally.
that person gets fills out that lead and you have it as an agent, how quickly you can connect with that person becomes the game, right? Becomes the whole purpose. And Kixie is providing that up to four lines dial. And so that efficiency, especially for agencies and even independent agents as they grow their lead flow. And like we can talk about some of the top producers that we manage or that we see under the agencies that we manage, like there's agents that are doing 50, 60, $70,000 a month in life insurance premiums with the Kixie dialer, right? And that's because those people, independent agents that might be getting 200 leads a week, 300 leads a week, like there is no way an agent can get through 300 leads every single week, new leads, and be efficient without Kixie or without some sort of technology that makes sure that that agent is now dialing the warm leads first and following a sequence and not just like dialing numbers every day, right? Because that becomes
Precisely.
inefficient. And so that is, I think, one of like the secrets that I don't know that a lot of people realize, right? Like, if you're doing Facebook ads or if you're running lead generation and that's how you're getting your business, volume is the name of the game, right? That's it, right? So it's like how many leads can I get, fresh exclusive leads at as low cost as possible, and then the other side of the equation is how do I efficiently call those volumes of leads so that I can turn it into money, right? And so that ability, right, to organize the leads properly, to drip them into different lists and have the system just do that automatically, man, it's a home run, and so agents, if you're out there like listening to this, this is so so important, right? Like again, if you're doing 30, 40 leads a week, this doesn't apply to you. You don't need to have four lines dialing at the same time. But if you're an agent that's doing high production, high numbers, or if you're an agency owner that has a team of individuals that you need to make sure the leads are being called efficiently, then you have to implement these types of systems. And if you don't, like you might be doing okay, but you're leaving money on the table, right? Like you're missing
Precisely.
out on potentially thousands of dollars in revenue, right? So, man, it's so powerful, right? I can't stress it enough for people. I wouldn't be able to do the things that we're doing on our team without the ability to do this. And when I look at some of these big agencies that we help that are using you guys, like at this point, they've become reliant, right? Like without this process, without what you guys are providing, they wouldn't be able to, in a way, do the scale that they're doing and the volume that they're doing, right? Which some of these clients that we have mutually are doing, millions of dollars a month in production at this point. And again, you can't do that unless you have the technology set up. So, man,
Exactly.
it's great. It's been a great partnership so far for me. You and I, aside from just business, I think just connected, man. And I really like you too as a person. I know we had some conversations
Thank you.
that
Thank
are
you.
off topic, and so it's cool, man. I appreciate it. And um, what if somebody needs, and we're gonna put all your information, links down below so they can contact. And but if anybody, let's go through like an independent agent. They want to set up today. They want to get going, like what's the cost, what's the process. Yeah, give us that information.
Totally, man. So, I mean, we are an a la carte service. Like you kind of said before, if you're only doing 40, 50 leads a week, probably not the best idea to get the four line dialer right off the bat,
Right.
but maybe
Right.
connection boost is something that you might need, right? So it really kind
Hmm.
of depends just on the agent, the industry that they're in, and what
Hmm.
type of automations or what they need built out. So the cost
Right.
does vary, but we do have wiggle room, and I will say for the product, we are very affordable, and for the results, it's something that you can't beat. If you're serious about sales, if you're serious about if you're serious agents and you're using Kixie, it pays for itself.
Oh, it's like
Yeah, ten
over
times
and over
over,
again,
10 times over. Yeah.
literally. I think it's I had an agent a few weeks ago that called me, right? And she hadn't started off on Kixie right away.
Hmm.
And she kind of put it off and put it off, and she started, and within a month she had volume, right? She was doing 150, 200 leads a week. And by like week 5, and I had said to her, I said, listen, don't wait, get it set up, because you're going to lose money by not having it set up, right? And when you got to get it set up, it's going to take time and a few days, and and you're readjusting, learning the system. And she pushed it off, right? That's just what she did. And
Yep.
so a month went by, and then she came to me and she said, what do I do? I don't feel like I'm getting to leads. I'm missing out on people. And I said, get on Kixie, right? Like, well, I don't know what the hell you're waiting on. Like, get with Dart and get set up and get going. And dude, you guys got her set up. It was a couple, a day or two, whatever it was. It took her a day to kind of get her feel for the platform. And that's another thing that's important, right? That it's super
Yeah.
user friendly, right? Like, it's not like this over complicated system that you need to like learn and spend hours on. Like, she got it in like a day or two, right? She understood how it works and how to use it. And dude, literally in the last month that she's been using it now, her production has almost tripled. Same amount of
Really
leads, same spend, production has just about tripled in the same
love
time
to hear
frame,
that,
just
man.
because of,
That's awesome.
man, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
And
it's
like you were saying too, man, like not only is it user friendly, it's I mean our customer support is also just out of this world. It's awesome that we have everything. We're based out in Santa Monica and we keep everything in house. So if for
right.
ever reason there was something that you needed help with or you just wanted to learn about a different feature, it's not like you're gonna be calling and be connected with someone, in the Philippines or India. It's all in house. We take very big pride on that as well too. So not only do we
Fantastic.
make this as easy as possible for you to get set up and use, but you have the support there whenever you need it if something does happen.
Right on, man. I think that's the way to cap
Yeah.
this thing off. Man, I appreciate you again so much taking some time to be on here. And
Hey, thank
we'll
you,
we'll
man.
link all your information at the bottom, guys. If you want to jump on Kixie and you need a dialer, highly recommend it. All the information will be below. You can connect directly with Dart. If you have any questions and you need lead generation, you want to take control of your marketing, reach out to us. Happy to book a call and talk to one of our agents, talk to myself. But man, I appreciate you, Dart. Thank you so much for being here, man. We'll talk soon.
Awesome, Oscar. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, man.